What happens after I sue the government for my immigration delay? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. People often ask me, Jim, what's going to happen after I file my lawsuit? Well, obviously there's a lot of fear in filing a lawsuit against the federal government. You know, a lot of our immigrant clients come from countries where you could never even think about suing the government. Bad things would happen to you if you did that. You might end up in jail or tortured or whatever. Now, when you file a lawsuit in the United States against the federal government for delaying your immigrant visa case or your green card case or your asylum case or your citizenship case, everyone wants to know what happens next. What happens next after I sue USCIS? And so I wanted to go through the different scenarios of what might happen. Now, of course, it's going to depend largely on the kind of case that you have. And so different things happen in different cases. But overall, when you file the lawsuit, you then mail a copy of the lawsuit to the defendant. So when we are hired to file a mandamus or a delay litigation case against USCIS and or the State Department, we have to do that in federal court. And I know that sounds scary because it sounds like you're going to have to go to court, that there's going to be a big trial, that we're going to go see the judge. In all the time that I've filed these lawsuits, and we've now filed over 1,400 of these, we've never had a client actually talk to a judge. So that's one thing that we can take off the table right away. It's very, very, very unlikely that you're going to talk to a U.S. attorney, that you're going to talk to a judge, that you're going to talk to anybody. It's all handled on paper. It's all handled by our office, and we take care of all that. We take care of serving the defendants with a copy of the lawsuit, and that's really what gets things started. So once the defendants receive the lawsuit, then things start happening in most cases. And now we're going to talk about what could happen. Now, number one, USCIS or the State Department usually starts working on the case. Now, they get 60 days to answer after we file that lawsuit. So in some cases, they get working on it right after receiving the lawsuit. In other cases, they wait till the very last minute, until the 60th day, to even look at the case. And so there is a little bit of a give and take and a little bit of delay that might happen there if we get a U.S. attorney who's not on top of things and doesn't start working on it. But many offices begin working as soon as we sue them. Some of our favorite places to sue are in Texas, Chicago, Baltimore, Maryland, California. When we file in these places, these offices have been sued so often that they know the routine. They know they just need to decide the case and then the lawsuit goes away. So when we sue them, you might get called in for another interview. You might get called in for your first interview. Basically, what you need to think about is the next thing that's supposed to happen probably will happen. You might get a request for evidence. You might get an outright approval. You might get called into the embassy again. You might get called into the embassy for the first time. It's the next step that happens after we sue them. And sometimes it happens pretty quickly. You know, we'll file a lawsuit a couple weeks later after they've been served. They'll say, Jim, we want to interview your client. And I'll say, oh, that's great. We're really happy to hear that. And let's work together with the lawsuit. We'll keep that going, but we'll sort of put it on pause while you guys conduct that interview. And we're really happy. The client's really happy. Here they've been waiting years and years, and now their case starts moving. They also, at that point, will then say, oh, the interview went fine, Jim. We need a little bit more time to decide the case. Can we have some more time? And we'll give them a 2 or 3 or 4 week extension. We work together with the government to get things moving, to get the whole thing resolved so that we don't have a big old fight. We don't have a big delay. We just get the thing moving. Sometimes that decision comes very quickly. Sometimes they've just been sitting on a decision and it's the lawsuit that gives them that last extra push to finally decide it. So what I want you to understand is that when we sue them, anything's possible. We've even had them show up at people's houses after we sue them because they want to see if the marriage is real. Now, you might say to yourself, oh my gosh, come into our house, that must be because they're mad that we sued them. I don't believe that they get mad when we sue them, and I don't think they treat our clients anything differently. I believe the lawsuit is a fast forward button, that whatever was going to happen 2 or 3 or 6 or 9 months later actually happens now because they have a condensed calendar in which to decide the case. That's what the lawsuit does. And so these are the kinds of things that you can expect if you sue them of what happens next. You might get that first interview. You might get a re-interview. You might get a Stokes interview where they separate you and your spouse. You might get asked for more evidence. You might be asked for more updated medical. You might be visited by them at your house. If it's an embassy case, they might ask for an updated medical. They might ask for your overseas spouse or family member to go in and answer some more questions. They might ask you to fill out a DS-5535. These are all good things. We want them to do these things so that we can get that final decision, because that's what the lawsuit's all about. The lawsuit's all about getting to that final decision. Let's say there's 16 things that they need to do before they decide a case. They've done 13 of them, then they started sitting on your case. The lawsuit makes them check the boxes for the last 3 things so that they can either approve it or deny it. That's what the lawsuit's all about. If you're thinking about suing USCIS, or if you want to sue the State Department, we would love to help you. It's my favorite thing to do. It's our favorite thing to do because at Hacking Immigration Law, we fight for immigrants every day. And the best way we do that is by hauling them into federal court and trying to get a federal judge to compel them to decide your immigration case. So if that's you, give us a call, 314-961-8200. Email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you want to talk about this on our Immigration Answer Show, or if you want to post about it in our free Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home, or if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that whenever I make a video like this one, or whenever we go live on the Immigration Answer Show, you're the first to know and you're given the opportunity to ask me a question on that free hour-long show. We'd love to have you join us in those free resources. Thanks so much for watching. If you're thinking about suing them and you're on the fence, I hope this video helped you make a good decision for you and your family. Peace out.